Yo, no, I don't know how to start
Yeah,
this.
I don't know how to start this. We're getting the logistical kinks fixed. Yeah, it's the winter again, so it's time for us to make an indoor video. This time we've upped the production quality. No more couch. Now we're out in nature. Now we're out in space or something.
You're gonna make me fucking work. As you can see, there's a tier list on our screen, and we are doing the.
I didn't know you were setting me up. This is going to be the New York State bouldering areas ranked. The definitive opinion. We climb a lot in New York. We climb all around the Northeast, but like we're mostly in New York State. I feel like if there's one thing we can make a tier list about, it's how good the different bouldering areas are all around New York. Because we've been to most of them, and we know people who've been to essentially all of them. You want to tell them what we're ranking based on? Do you know?
We're ranking based on if it's nice.
Yep.
If it's good.
Uh-huh. If it's D's.
And if it's decent.
Wait, is there no F tier? There's gotta be.
This is like the default, like S, A, B, C, D.
There's
like
no Fs?
just D will be the F.
These are the factors that I thought of. So first of all, there's like the quality of the rock, quality of the lines, how much variety there is, how easy they are to get to, that sort of a thing. Overall accessibility, like parking, approach, how crowded it gets, whether there's a guidebook that's useful, whether there are access issues, if there's a cool view or a lake or a swamp. Those are all like positives, obviously.
I mean, the swamp does not sound like a positive.
I think swamp is like pretty good for me. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we have no idea what we're doing.
Let's jump into it. First up, we have Snowy Mountain.
Wow, starting off with snowy. Can we make the picture bigger or what?
So what I'll do is, we got a green screen behind us, as you may have known. I will either put videos or this picture like blown up behind us. So I think Snowy's pretty good.
I also think Snowy's pretty good. Snowy's a weird one to start with because like a lot of the other areas in New York are similar in some ways, but Snowy is like really different. Like there's big old Wacos in all the rocks, and it like feels like sandstone even though it's not.
Just because it's like a different rock, it goes up there a little bit.
It does go up.
Because it's like if we want a change of scenery, if we want to see some holes, then we go to Snowy.
How about this? There's some stuff. So Snowy Mountain, first of all, we didn't even say this. It's the main bouldering area in the central Adirondacks. I don't think too many people travel to Snowy to climb there from like elsewhere, but honestly they should and could because there's a bunch of stuff. Pretty easy to get around once you're in there.
Approach is fine. It's
like 15 minutes or so. It's like a little bit of a hill, but it's really not so bad. Parking is easy. Uh-oh.
What?
That's falling.
Technical difficulties.
On a wheelie chair, obviously.
Oh, you spin me the other way? Spin me!
Don't say it like I did something wrong. So, rock quality, Snowy, really good. Lines are really cool. Everything we've done there, I feel like, is good. Coitus V6, really, really good. Waco Boulder, 7 and 8, really good. Everybody says Salamander, the 9 is good.
I didn't really like Coitus that much.
I thought it was cool. I don't know. I mean, it's good. It's a good line. Like, it would fit in at any crag.
It's hard because this is the first one. This sets the pace for everything else.
Does. So I was thinking about because like once it's in, right? We can't go back later.
No, you're not changing it.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I should have said this at the beginning. This tier list is like relative to itself, obviously. Like this is on the scale of New York bouldering areas. Anything we give an S, we're not obviously like Font and Rocklands are better, but like as far as New York goes, S is the best New York has to offer, and F is like don't even go there, even if you're looking to have a bad time. Well, D, I guess.
At first, I was going to be like, oh, maybe it's just got to be a B. Mm-hmm. But I'm leaning more towards A just because I don't think there's been a line that was like bad, really.
I agree. I think everything we've done there is
good,
cool.
Unique.
Yep. It's not chossy at all. Nothing's crumbly. It's a high A. I think we lock it.
So the only thing that we rearrange is like
the order within a tier.
Yeah.
I think that's smart. So like the left is the best of the A's. It'll be.
Yeah.
And the right is the worst. Mm-hmm. So like over there, that'll be F. Far right of D. Mm-hmm. Okay. Is this order completely random? Like is the
well, okay, this one I can't even talk about.
New York City bouldering. We're doing this list in a funny order because we started off with like the most unique one and then we're going straight to the one that we haven't actually climbed at.
I'm going to say D.
So, I mean, it's definitely like low. It's C or D. This would be easier had we done more of them. Here's the deal with New York City bouldering. First of all, Mike and I have never climbed in New York. I've scoped out the boulders in Central Park once without crash pads.
We've climbed in
New York a lot. There are like kind of a lot of boulders in like Central Park and all the other parks throughout Manhattan, and like I think a couple even off of Manhattan. But as far as I can tell, and as far as everybody I know who climbs there and has climbed there, Like, you only go there because it's there. You would never go there if you had anything else to climb on. Like, most people don't even go there. Most people go to the gyms over the outdoor boulders, and I'm sure there's good stuff. I'm sure we're going to get some hate. On the other hand, the fact that there are actual rocks in the middle of, like, the biggest city in the country is kind of cool. I don't know.
I feel like people who live in New York City probably like cherish these boulders, and they're gonna be like, oh no, they're not bad. I've seen videos, it looks chossy. I can't imagine fucking having a pad in the city, like navigating.
Right.
That to me sounds
actually,
terrible.
It seemed, on the one hand, it's like if you happen to live within walking distance, it's probably easy. But like if you live in Brooklyn, it's probably actually really annoying to bring a crash pad to Central Park. Like, you're not getting on a subway with a pad, let alone like 2 pads. All the people who live in New York, they all go up to the Gunks and Ice Pond and stuff all the time. And I don't know how many people from New Paltz are driving down to Manhattan ever.
I feel like it's got to be a D.
I think it's got to be a D.
Like, I was thinking C because it's like technically we've never been there, so how could we give it a D?
Yeah,
but
it is bold of us to come out the gate and give something a D.
We've never been to
without ever having climbed there at all. But I think it's right. I think it's a D.
All right, well now we got speaking of dirty boulders.
Let's go back and raise New York City up to a S if we're gonna go straight here. Split Rock.
Yeah, Split Rock, Long Island. You could have just put like broken glass as the picture.
Yeah,
that's what I think
could
of.
have just been garbage. I'm glad I had this picture of like the graffitied words Split Rock on the rock, because that's actually what it is. I think we're gonna offend people with the New York ranking. I really, really don't think there's anybody who's gonna be offended by this. And if anything, people are just gonna be like, you should have made an F just for Split Rock.
I wonder if there's someone who like that's their home crag.
I don't
like
think
that's what they prioritize. It'd be
really
interesting.
don't
I
think
feel like
so.
every place has at least one person that's like always there.
Yeah, I know, like, that's true for like the other Long Island areas mostly. I don't think Split Rock even qualifies as that. So Split Rock, you park on okay, everything about Split Rock is bullshit from step one. You park it on the side of this road, and like there's this one stretch of road where there's trees and not a house, so you gotta park there. But like even that's questionable. You walk 15 minutes along a road, and then you just like hike in under these power lines. Ticks everywhere. It doesn't matter what time of year you go. You can go right now, unearth some snow, and there's just a pile of ticks. Somehow it's humid at all times. There's like, how many rocks there? 3, I think.
I will say the way that they're like positioned is kind of cool.
It
Because
is.
like, how did 3 rocks just fall right here?
They
with, like,
do
paths?
look kind of cool that way.
They don't climb though.
They climb really bad. They're chossy and bad and gross and dirty. There's glass everywhere.
Some of them have like someone like
drill holes or
yeah.
bullet holes probably. There's like old cigarette butts on the ground,
Cans of, like, beer and stuff.
bottles. As far as I'm concerned, there's like no good lines there at all. There's
No
like,
one's doing maintenance there.
No, nobody's doing anything there. I think you're not even supposed to climb there. Like, I'm pretty sure it's on the land of the power company or something. So like the access is bad. So it's not really in the official. Oh crap! It's not in the official guidebook. We having some more technical D's.
$1 million studios falling apart.
This is the type of thing where like Split Rock, it would just be funny to have a category that just said Split Rock.
That's what dude, the fact that we don't have an F tier is crazy because you
Okay.
can't put anything else in. It's rude to whatever else you put in
But
Split Rock's
also, if I
category.
had an F tier, like it wouldn't fit the screen nicely. Like,
All right, so we'll just put it at the far right side of D, but just
But this is like a realistic. Like, we're not joking here.
no. So
Like, this is realistic.
it's really bad.
It is really bad. It's obviously here. It's not moving.
Split Rock is so bad that like even if you're in the area, you shouldn't go there. You know another reason why Split Rock's so bad is because you have other options. Like if you're going to Split Rock, you probably could have just gone to Wildwood, which is not that far away, or like a bunch of other stuff. That's the one thing I'll say about New York. It's like if you're in New York City, the Central Park boulders are your only real option unless you like really travel and drive. Whereas like Split Rock, there's good boulders near it, and it's just the junk fest.
The one time I went to Wildwood before.
Oh wow!
So
you were literally
I'm kind of biased
That
too
doesn't-
because like I like didn't have that great of a time because I was already like toast.
yeah, but that doesn't
but-
matter. Next.
9 corner.
9 corner. Look at that picture. Look at that lake, dude. How do you feel about 9?
It's solid. B.
That was my gut.
The last time we were at 9 Corner was bad. We tried Nick Stoner and like we didn't do anything
Yeah,
that day. And then we
that's
tried
true.
that Jesus climb or whatever, the God religion thing.
Lighter burden of priesthood. Lighter burden is the stand, and then there's burden of priesthood, which is the sit that we haven't tried.
Wow.
There are some boulders at 9 that I think have a shot at being like in the top 10 or 20 boulders in New York. Thorazine is maybe my favorite 8, top 5 at least. And Tower of Power, I think, is my favorite V2 anywhere. Right? Like, I can't think of a 2 that I like. It was perfect.
There's a lot of climbs.
A lot of climbs. And they're dense. It's like super easy to get around.
A lot of good ones.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's even like, dude, it's just that approach. That approach is dog
The approach
shit.
is bad. The approach sucks. I think it's the worst one, right?
It's borderline C because of the approach.
Yeah, that's true. The approach is really annoying. It's like 25 minutes slog straight uphill the whole way, and it's like no matter what, it's just annoying. And when it's wet at all, the approach is like treacherous. There's these like long slick rocks that you can fall on. But once you're up there, it's really nice. Like and you know what? Big bonus points for there being a lake. Like the fact that especially on a hot day, you can jump in the lake after, it is nice. Yeah, I think solid B, but like I would give it a high B personally.
Next up, the Edge.
So Cataclysms is just the name of the boulder.
So what is the actual place called? Just
the Northeast Gunks.
Northeast Gunks.
That cliff is called Martinez Roof, but like if you include Schwappel and like the whole area, that's the Northeast. The Northeast Gunks is pretty big. It's the part of the Gunks that probably has the most access issues. Like I think climbing might officially be closed there or like borderline closed. So like access is kind of sketchy. The approach is long. I think it's longer than the 9 approach to get to the roof.
I feel like the approach didn't feel bad because it was my first time there, and
Right.
I
You
was
never
like,
know.
"Oh yeah, we'll be there soon, probably."
Right.
Okay, let's swap.
All right.
I like the
So obviously, the Martinez Roof view is like the best of I think all the bouldering areas. As far as the Gunks goes, I think it's like got better rock quality on average. Like Schwappel's rock quality is really clean. It's so hard to do this one before we did anything else in the Gunks.
I know exactly.
Wait, let me think for half a second because it's really hard for me without having done any other Gunks areas first. I think it's A or B pretty confidently. I think I'm gonna say B, but I'm curious what you were thinking.
I'm thinking A above Snowy.
Wow, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
dude. First of all, that I could just like sit there and eat food. I don't even have to climb, and I'll be happy. That place is so nice.
But if we could say that, then there's like no.
Also, like, the rock didn't hurt.
No, the rock quality is good. It's soft and comfortable.
There aren't a lot of climbs per se, or a lot of lines.
That's my downside.
But the lines that are there are pretty nice.
Yeah.
Even the weird variation
Was good.
like the 10 or whatever. Like I want to go back just for that to do that.
Yeah.
Schwappel is like unique movement.
Schwappel seems cool.
Like even though there's not a lot of lines, the lines that are there are nice and they feel good. And it's an A and it's above Snowy.
I really wonder if the mic is picking up all these.
I have trouble saying above Snowy because Snowy has so many boulders and they're all good. And like Northeast, like I don't think the views alone counteract the fact that like it's a longer approach to way fewer boulders. Also, like imagine you go back and you do the 10 on the roof and we do Schwappel. Are we really going to even want to go back past that? Like I know there's other stuff there. There is another 10 that we haven't even looked at. There's like a few more 8s and 9s and like there's random stuff, but like I think as far as classics go, I don't know. I feel like that's part of it. Like, how many classics does Snowy have? A good number. How many does Nine Corner have? A good number. How many does Northeast have? 3.
Yeah, but there's only like 3 climbs.
That's my point.
3 is nuts.
It's like the 7, like Cataclysms, Schwappel, maybe Megan Fox, the 5 at the bottom, and like maybe everybody seems to think NBD V10 is really good, although we haven't seen it. I have trouble saying it's above Snowy. I have trouble saying it's above Nine Corner personally. I could accept it being an A, but I can't put it as our top A.
I think we're settled then. We'll meet in the middle. We'll meet in the middle. A,
Slightly.
but under Snowy.
Yeah, I think that's fair. All right, next up.
East Marion.
Oh,
Marion.
Marion.
I mean, this is kind of a similar vibe. I would be more inclined to say B.
Okay.
Just because it's like the lines that are there. I mean, some of them are fucking gone.
That's true.
They're breaking by the day.
That's true. I don't know if that counts too much against it though, because while they're there, they're good.
The view is nice.
View is beautiful.
but the there's not too many like challenging climbs. I feel like
You don't think? I feel like there's a good number of
maybe I
8s
just
and
haven't
9s
done them.
The reason why I would probably put East Marion higher is because as far as Long Island bouldering goes, East Marion is like as good as it gets by a lot. As far as the Gunks bouldering goes, Northeast is good, but you wouldn't be like Northeast is by far the best stuff at the Gunks, whereas East Marion is by far the best thing anywhere near it on Long Island. Plus, it's just like the beach is so
fun to
nice.
go
It's a
there.
fun day. You can go to East Marion actually pretty much whenever you want. Like, we've both sent pretty hard at East Marion in actually July.
I've only ever been there in the summer.
You've literally only been there in July. And, like, I know people go year round, and you can go in the winter if you find good days. I don't know. I like East Marion.
So it sounds like this.
I think so, too.
Okay.
And I think I know people who say East Marion's boulder is one of their favorite individual boulders in the Northeast. Like, as far as just
really cool
a single boulder goes.
When you're walking on the beach and you just see
cool.
that one boulder.
Yeah. The approach is fine. The parking is a little questionable, but the approach is fine. A good V8 at East Marion just got absolutely obliterated by some dude who just yanked. I mean, it wasn't his fault at all, but like he just yanked off the whole shelf that it was on, and it was pretty crazy. He didn't get hurt or anything, which is good, but we locked down that V8 and ain't nobody else ever gonna.
Next up is Peterskill or Peterskill?
I think it's Peterskill.
2 words. Or 1 word.
I don't know if it's.
I never know. I just say Peterskill.
There's so much stuff upstate that's like whatever's kill, like cat.
Yeah,
skill.
I mean Peterskill seems weird.
No, it's not Peter Skill. 2 words. I think it's Peter's. Like this guy named Peter, and it's his kill. And the kill is the river.
Or his name was Peterskill. I mean,
We gotta get back to Peterskill.
we gotta get back.
We gotta get back there. It's closed for the winter, which
Say
is really
that. Say
annoying.
that about every place.
2 annoying things about it. $15 a day per person, not even per car, with no annual pass of any kind. So it's like at the Gunks essentially, but it's not owned by the same people as the whole rest of the Gunks. Your annual Gunks pass does not apply at Peterskill, and you have to pay every time you go. I think it's $15 a person, which is like pretty crazy every single day if you're projecting something, and there's no way to get any kind of pass. So that's really annoying, and they limit the number of climbers per day. So like it's never happened to me, but you can, if you get there too late in the day, they can just turn you away.
The approach is pretty chill.
Yeah, approach is easy. All the boulders are good. Cloud 9 V4 is one of my favorite 4s. Tiger Style 7 and Delegate Soul are both great. It's got good stuff at every grade. Village Idiot's really good. Mike wouldn't know. Whenever there's ice on top of the cliffs, they just close the whole area. And like I get closing the trad climbing because there's ice at the top, but like the boulders don't need to be closed, but they are. All climbing is closed. So like right now you can't even go until April or something. So that's annoying too, because like the best conditions a lot of the time you can't even go there.
This is what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I think it's B.
Yeah, I agree with you.
It's hard. I don't want to think about the lines in each area and have that like sway. Like,
think
oh
it
yeah, I
should.
love Thorazine
I
so
think it
much.
should.
But I haven't done that much at
That's true.
Peterskill.
I don't think any one line should sway it all that much, but I think like if there are several classics, that should be a big factor. And if there's none, then that should knock something down. We've not gone to Peterskill for a while because we've just been like preferring to go elsewhere, and it costs $15 for no reason. So I think I would put it below 9, but I could be fine with putting it above too.
I'm gonna say below, just because it seems like also 9 Corner is more of just like that's an area, and this seems more of just like an offshoot of the Gunks, where it's like you already did stuff on Carriage Road, like you're gonna. This is an
That's true.
afterthought.
Yeah, 9 is like the obvious place to go if you're within an hour, whereas Peterskill is just one option of a bunch. All right, what is that?
I know this picture's ass.
Oh,
By the way,
that's Lost City, right?
Tyler picked all these pictures. This was the one picture that I was like, I don't even know what I'm looking at.
Is that Lost City?
Yeah, it is Lost City.
Okay.
But I kind of figured, like, you know what? It's fine because it's like it's giving me Atlantis vibes. Like, what is it? I don't even know because I'm lost.
So Lost City is an
I already
interesting-
know. I know exactly where I'm putting this.
All right, let's hear it.
Like, I don't
Before we
think.
say anything, I want to hear it.
Yeah, I don't think we have to like talk that
Yeah,
much
let me
about
hear
all
it.
these.
Hit it.
We're already 35 minutes into this shit,
We're
dude.
gonna edit this down a lot.
I know.
Strong
Well, I'm
we.
gonna edit it. Yeah, strong we. I'm gonna say in between 9 Corner and Peterskill.
Okay, so you're saying middle of the road B tier?
Yeah.
Okay, let me hear it.
I mean, okay, Harmonic is there, and Harmonic, ooh, it's so
It
good.
is.
I'm not a big fan of the Gunks rock texture. Maybe it's above 9 Corner.
I would put it higher. I would personally. So starting, there's the left side,
There's
which
a lot of really good hard climbs.
exactly. Lost City's got a lot of stuff we could project, and Lost City, we're gonna definitely spend a lot more time there. I bet in the future. Like everything we've done has been pretty good. The path was very cool, even if it's a little contrived or whatever. Harmonic, we haven't finished yet, but that's gonna be one of the best. Ideas Are Bulletproof right next to it is also going to be one of the best for sure. Big Black 7, I know it's super soft, but it's also got a hard
Resurrection's
sit.
dog
Resurrection's
shit.
terrible.
Tiger Style.
Godsend might be cool.
Or not Tiger Style. Funny Killer.
Funny Killer was sick. Funny Killer is up there easily, like top 5 favorite V8s. 9 Corner has one of them. Lost City for sure has one of them. And then there's a bunch more stuff we haven't done. Like there's a million things that we haven't even found yet. Lost City is the most popular area of the Gunks that doesn't have a guidebook. People are there always, bouldering and trad climbing, but you have to know someone or like ask a lot in order to get your bearings there, which is why it was so long until we actually finally went. To me, the only knock on it is like what you said about the actual physical rock quality. Like it is pretty pebbly for a lot of it.
I can't give it A.
Yeah.
I can't, because that pebbly shit, dude. Also, the approach to harmonic, we've done it different every single time, and it's always bad. So I think here probably. No, not there, here. Yeah.
I think that's fair.
This tier list, obviously, that's crazy. So you know what she's doing? She's hanging on the doorknob. How crazy is that?
With both paws.
Both paws. I have a picture of her that I'll put on the green screen of her hanging by the fucking doorknob. It's so funny. Yeah. Anyways.
So I think the tier list for us, this is more a tier list for like climbers, like people who are climbing outside.
Yeah, and obviously I feel like we're going to be biased towards things that are like 8, 9, 10.
Yeah, that's probably
because
true.
that's like what we're trying.
Yeah. I'm thinking about it in terms of like the grade range being like 5, 6 and up being good. Like, yeah, it matters that there's easy stuff, but I think that's a different tier list. Like most beginner friendly tier list looks very different than this all around.
Next one.
While you're doing the tape,
Powerlines.
The freaking lines.
P-lines.
The actual P-lines. I'll try to stop you from spinning.
You probably look at this one with like, you got those rose-colored glasses on, you know?
I do. I'll start with what we were just saying. As far as places, if you're a beginner,
Real good.
it's the best. I'd say it's pretty confidently, I'd say it's the best spot. Like if you're an indoor climber, if you're a gym climber trying to get outside, if you're not a climber and you just want to like go have fun, it's the best place. I've brought people there who like climb V1 or have climbed 10 times or 5 times in a gym, and they've had a good time. And I don't think that's true about any of these other places except maybe East Marion.
I don't understand people just say that it's like Chaucy and bad and all this stuff. And as someone who has really sensitive skin, I have a much worse time at the Gunks than I do at Powerlines. Like I don't think Powerlines is that pebbly or that Chaucy.
So I think when people say Chaucy for the lines, though, they don't mean that the rock actual physical quality is bad. They mean that like stuff breaks and like there's junk everywhere, and like the actual lines are just like dirty and gross. The lines is like, for a long time it was the main bouldering area to go to if you lived downstate below it. So if you're like in New York or in Long Island, so like I had spent a lot of time there. That was like the only place I bouldered at for the first year or whatever that I went outside occasionally. It feels like an actual New York City gym if you go there at the wrong time. Like on a peak Sunday in the fall, there will be, I'm not exaggerating, 100. I think I have that video. Pull it up.
Pull it up, Jamie.
I've had videos of like 100 people at like 6 boulders.
It's weird because like I feel like it gets shit talked for not being that good, but I kind of almost want to put it in A.
Wow.
I mean, I'm looking at the power line right now.
It is cool in like a super, what's the word?
Industrial.
Yeah, cyberpunk. It's like cyberpunk cool.
Steampunk.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, it's not cyberpunk.
Cool.
Cyberpunk would be like flying cars.
Real quick, classics there. Honk is a really good 7. Cardiac Arrête is like one of my favorite 7s. Low
Slot
key.
Machine's not a classic, but it's cool. It's
I tell people routinely that Slot Machine is like you should do it. Slot Machine's dope. Slabosaurus is cool in its own way. Gorilla's cool.
Thor makes me almost want to put this in D.
Yeah, Thor is really bad. And
I have not
people
done
really
it.
like
I have
Thor.
not done it.
That's
I still don't think I can do it. I cannot do it.
A lot of people really like Thor. Like Thor came highly recommended to me. People were like, go back there and before you do Gorilla, warm up on Thor. You're going to love it. I did not like it.
The hardest 4 traverse in the world.
Powerlines is the crag that I know the best and that I've done the most at. Like I've done just about everything there, more or less. And despite that, and despite having a lot of good days there, my gut was like, oh, Powerlines is your classic C. That was my first thought. I was like, Powerlines is the one that I know. I was like, Powerlines is the one that shoots the gap and it's a C. But the more we're talking about it, approach is chill. You have some fun days there.
I'm kind of thinking of putting it in front of East Marion.
Wow.
Like, does East Marion really belong in A? Like, I guess it does because it's Long Island, but then we're not looking at it as a whole. We're like isolating it. Oh, it's Long Island. But as a one standalone boulder, it's real nice.
It is. And here's the one point. Think about it in the context of New York City bouldering. Beautiful beachfront boulder with the ocean there is rare. Like, even the other Long Island boulders, a lot of them aren't on the ocean. East Marion is straight up. Like, you climb, you fall off, you dunk your junk.
It has to be B tier. And I think it has to be in front of 9 corner.
Wow.
Right?
I'm cool with B tier. We're gonna We're gonna surprise some people with that one.
Powerlines does have some views. It does have some views. It has a lot of lines. It's really nice. It's definitely not better than Lost City. I don't think.
The guidebooks are really, really thorough. It's easy to get around. I think mid B is actually kind of fair. I think the average climber will tell you it's worse than this, but I think we, for some reason, are both.
We're not the average climber. Next up,
All right.
McKenzie.
That's what that is? Oh,
Flux capacitor. Yeah, it's you sitting in front of it.
We're putting a picture up of flux capacitor V8, even though we couldn't finish it because it was greasy and we were exhausted.
That was a fever dream.
That second day, really hot. It was like 85 and humid.
Really, really hot. The approach is actually nothing. The most nothing out of every place by far.
You walk on a flat ground for 100 feet, yeah. And then you're at the first boulders. To get to the back, it's like, what, 10 minutes probably to walk all the way to flux capacitor, which is like all the way at the back. We don't have a ton of experience with McKenzie. 9 Corner is the southern Adirondacks main spot. Snowy is the central Adirondacks main spot. McKenzie is the northern Adirondacks main spot. So like if you're up near Lake Placid or anywhere, basically anywhere up all the way north, that's where you're going. I bet even if you're like in Montreal and you're coming south to climb, that's one of your options.
I already know where I'm putting it.
I honestly have no idea. I'm curious what you think because I have no clue.
I'm thinking right in front of Peterskill.
That seems pretty fair. So
like I know we've only been there once.
Yeah, 2 days.
Only been to Peterskill like a handful of times too. I think I've only been to Peterskill twice or 3 times. But it's got to be B. Well, what are you thinking?
No, I agree with B tier.
I feel like I'm commandeering this.
No,
I don't want to sway.
So. I feel like for this one, I think you can commandeer because I don't have that strong of an opinion. I feel like B somewhere is good. I personally would have trouble putting it above 9 Corner because I happen to really like 9. The more we do this, the more I do think Peterskill really is like, it's good. It's not amazing. Someone's going to be like, how dare you put 9 and McKenzie both below Powerlinez?
Well, wait until they see the rest of the list, I guess.
All right.
I truly do believe that what we've done right now is accurate and fair. Like, these aren't seaworthy.
How much do you think this would change if we did it in a different order? Like, if we had done these totally different order, do you think many of them would change? I'm sure a few would change by 1.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think.
I think mostly it would be about the same.
I think it'd be the same. Yeah. I actually think that starting with Snowy was good because, like, I don't know if we started with like East Marion.
Right.
It's like, what is that? Is that an A? Is that?
Yeah. Starting with Powerlines would have been a live grenade.
Okay, next up we have.
That is the knees.
The knees.
Oh, and
that's Arthur.
We got Artie and his knees. I'm sure he's cool with it. We should probably
imagine he fucking copyrights our video.
Arthur, don't copyright strike our video, dude. We'll give you a cut of the not revenue. The Nears shares its parking with the main area of the Gunks, the West Traps, aka Carriage Road, which we haven't done yet. That's like the main Gunks area where 90% of people who are climbing any given day are going. It's got a great moderate circuit, so like if you want to like go bang out a bunch of like 5, 6, 7s, that's your place. I don't think it has a ton of harder stuff really.
Oh, I want to bang out a couple 5, 6, and 7s. I am pretty confident.
I don't know which way you're about to be.
I'm pretty confident with C.
Wow.
When we go there, one more try. Fucking bogus. One more try. It's like a meme. It's the hardest 4. We made a video of it. Check it out. Whoa. Aside from that,
dude, we didn't mention I suck. It's Snowy.
Yeah. The pearl. That's why it's A.
Yeah.
If we mention that, it may have went down.
If you take out I suck, then it's an S.
Cream cheese is trash.
Really?
I really did not like that climb.
I like cream cheese a lot.
I felt really lucky getting it. I feel like it's pebbly. Whoa.
Little Women Boulder is bad.
There's not a lot of stuff. It's crumbly. It's trash. It's C.
Yeah, I think you're right. Is the Nears my least favorite Gunks bouldering area?
Also, parking.
Probably.
Parking for like the Carriage Road.
And then not going there.
And then while walking is annoying.
Yeah, it's a good thing to have.
And the time we got lost.
We have had a couple really fun days there.
Yeah, no, there's definitely been fun days. I just feel like there's no line there that's like, holy shit, this is insane.
That's
best
fair.
Line.
I think there are 2 lines. There's a 9 or an 8 called Deconstructing Towers that I've looked at. It's absolutely horrifying. I won't try it. And then there's that other.
Right, I remember.
And there's a different 9 or 10 like way down somewhere that everybody says is great, but everybody says it's even scarier. I think I'm good with C.
Okay. I know
C tier.
It's always like, oh, C.
I think it's a C.
But like, makes sense.
No, I think it does make sense.
Yeah, I'm just looking at power lines.
Someone's gonna be so mad about power lines being way above
The next one.
Deniers.
Next one's interesting. Next one's kind of complicated, right? You can see there's 4 pictures in one. We're kind of grouping a lot of the smaller or lesser known areas of the Adirondacks together in one because there's too many places to actually like put them on a tier list. And we also haven't climbed that much at each of them.
Yeah. So far for the Dacks, we gave the northern, the middle, and the southern are McKenzie, Snowy, and 9. There's one more on the list, Canada. Everything else outside of those 4, we're lumping into like miscellaneous Adirondack climbing. We kind of have to because the number of boulders in the Dacks that have even been climbed so far is probably 1% of the ones that there are to climb. The areas that we've been to and the ones that we're naming are not nearly all of them. Like the guidebook is like 400 pages. There's so many. I'm just going to rattle off the names. Green Lake, which we've been to, which we really like. Pine Lake, which we've been to, covered in moss. Back 9, where we had, I would say, the worst day that we could possibly have asked for. Chapel Pond, I went to once and did like a stupid slab. Crane Mountain, which people say is good. Rand Mountain, which people say is great. Brant Lake, which is maybe closed to climbing now. There's Second Pond. There's Morrow Ledges. There's Potter something. There's like all these places. There's infinite boulders and there's infinite trad climbing, which we don't even do. Prison Boulder. There's all these standalone boulders. Some of them are documented well. Some of them you have to know someone who knows someone. There's mostly not really access issues. It's all free. Most of the approaches are fine.
Okay, anyways.
There's G-Town, Loch Ness. There's a billion areas in the Dacks. And we're not even going to name them because, I mean, I named them. But we're not going to put them in the list because a lot of them we haven't climbed at. And most of them individually are just like, you know, whatever, but some of them are really good. So now we got to decide where to put the whole rest of the Dacks combined.
It's hard because I haven't been to like 5 or 6 of the places that you named. Yeah. And like, I wish we found Karate Kid that day because I feel like Karate Kid would have been cool.
Sick. One big plus about the Dacks for me is that bouldering aside, there's so much cool stuff to do. Like the day we didn't find Karate Kid, we wound up doing a pretty good hike, and we might have then gone to Green Lake anyway afterwards, which was cool. But like a lot of these other places, if you can't go for some reason, you're just like out of luck. There's so many mountains. Cascade. I don't know if we want to even mention that in the video, but like that's like the prettiest boulder anywhere, even if the boulder is kind of bad.
We don't have that in the list.
It's part of miscellaneous Adirondacks, I think. Like this
is it? That changes a lot.
Right.
I don't know.
It's the prettiest part of New York by far, in my opinion.
Okay, where are you ranking this? Where are you ranking this, bro? I want you to say it first this time. I've been saying it first every time.
I feel like we can only really put it in the B tier. And the main reason is because we already put 9 Corner and McKenzie in the B tier. And I don't think miscellaneous Dacks is better than 9 or McKenzie on average. That's the thing. I like the miscellaneous Dacks a lot. Like I would put it in A tier. It just, I don't think it makes sense to do that because we literally already put the better Dacks areas lower down on the tier list. So we can't put the worst areas combined higher on the list, I don't think.
I'm thinking C.
Okay.
I'm thinking C above Nears just because a lot of these places are just like maybe there's good boulders, but they're really chossy. I don't think I would tell people like as a climbing area, it might be hard to climb some of the stuff because it's dirty as shit. Some of it breaks. Yeah, Cascade is sick, but also it's like you're hiking up a mountain for fucking 2 hours. Right. Obviously, there's cool boulders in all these places, I'm sure. Green Lake, Pine Lake was cool. I haven't really been to the other places, but it's really random, and I feel like because it's random, but because there's a lot, I can't really give it B. I can't put it...
Even at the very bottom of B? Per chance?
I mean, I guess it could be at the very bottom. It's hard because there's definitely places that are dog that we've been to.
Yeah, like
so
Backline is horrible.
Also, Cascade is cool, but like if that wasn't on top of a mountain, would it be cool?
It would be terrible. The line itself is
the line is not that good. I feel like that's kind of the theme with these rocks. Is like the lines are not that great.
But then on the flip side, like
I think there are a lot of really good lines scattered throughout the Dacks, and we just maybe haven't seen them yet. Like Narwhal.
So you're gonna do a blind B.
A blind bottom B.
I think I personally would do a blind bottom B. I think that some stuff in the miscellaneous Dacks is actually A tier. I think the Adirondacks also have actual F tier stuff, like make Split Rock look tolerable.
So if you do an A and an F, that's a B?
Well, I think it's everything in between too. I think it's low B, lowest B. It's a good benchmark.
Okay.
It's a benchmark.
I don't know what the fuck this next one is.
I'll be quick. This is called Dorson's Rock. I threw this in the list just to mix things up. This is New York Choss at almost its finest. Nothing
finer than Split Rock?
I think it's as bad. Dorson's rock is like a random set of, I'll call them boulders, but they're all chalky. It doesn't really get any harder than like 3-ish. The one picture looks like it would be super cool, but nobody's F8'd it yet because the area is so bad. It's like a pretty long approach to like actual nothing. I climbed there once. It's pretty junkety. The reason it's in the list is because it's in a part of New York State where there's like not really anything else super nearby. Like you're probably 45 minutes from the Gunks at least. You're like very far from the Adirondacks. If you ever went out of your way to go here, you're being an absolute goof. D for sure, right above Split Rock.
Okay.
Easy. What's next?
That's your photo of Wildwood.
Oh.
I don't like it. I feel like you probably like it. You always find a way to go there when you're on Long Island.
I like Wildwood. It's like Wildwood's been for the last few years my go-to like Thanksgiving, Christmas, home for the holidays.
I know where I'm putting it.
See?
I'm putting it, C behind the Nears.
I think that's fair.
Every time I've been there, it hurts because it's so fucking cold. It's so windy. It's miserable. The lines
okay,
there
well,
are trash.
we go there on cold. I think that's a fine placement. Wildwood is good if you're on Long Island. Like East Marion is great. Wildwood is good. Everything else on Long Island is whatever. Postal V8, really, really good. Postal Redirect, also really good. Hillside Strangler, 6 or 7, whatever it is, good. Laugher Cry, V8, really good. Everything else there, kind of not great, except for maybe a couple like warm-up type things. It's basically just like one boulder on the hillside. There are a bunch of other things there, but they're all like easy junkers.
There's like an infinite amount of tier lists we can make. Yeah. We could do like 9 corners, specific sections. This place,
I know.
It's infinite.
I know. Hopefully.
And then we could do a tier list of our tier lists. Which one was the most accurate?
I want to back up, actually.
Back up?
Yeah, I want to back up a tiny bit. Miscellaneous Adirondacks, we put it in the list because there's so much that we had to. But we're now done with Long Island, New York. So I should mention like the fact that there are other things in Long Island. There are other
highway,
things.
fucking 82, whatever.
Exit 62 Boulder, Duck Pond. There's other stuff scattered throughout. There's some stuff out in the Pine Barrens, like way out east. I think everything else on Long Island is like in between Split Rock and Wildwood, which doesn't say much because Wildwood's pretty good and Split Rock is actually the worst place you could possibly climb.
All right, we got Double Right coming up next. I'm pretty confidently going to put Double Right. I mean, it's crazy too because I feel like you probably think I don't like it that much because every time someone in the group suggests to go there, I'm like, no.
He's like, I won't go back.
I'm going to put it in A.
Whoa!
To me, it's like it's like a secret carriage road. Like it's literally just like you're on a road. It's a little more GB-ish. It's like a GB and Carriage Road combined, right? Where it's like there's rocks all to your left, like Orange Julius is literally right there. But you do have to scramble a little bit for some stuff more than others. And I feel like the stuff there that we've done is like pretty quality.
Orange Julius is great.
Orange Julius is cool. The 9 that's on it's probably cool too.
What's that other 7?
The fucking 9 that just randomly was there and Luke's like, oh yeah, let's walk down here. Vulture, that's cool. Sick. That's the coolest. That's actually a sick climb.
Those 2 9s were both nice.
Jewelry box is cool too.
One of them. Jewelry box is cool. What's the other one we did? The one in the cave.
Pipe bomb.
Yeah, that kind of sucked.
That one did kind of suck.
You're telling me Double Right is better than Lost City?
Trying not to look at it.
It matters.
Okay, fine. Then maybe it's right in front of Powerlines.
I mean,
What do you think about that?
In a vacuum, what you just said is totally fine. Putting Double Right in front of Powerlines, that makes sense to me.
Okay.
Putting Double Right and Powerlines both above all of the other places is crazy. But going Double Right, Powerlines, 9 corner, McKenzie Peterskill is wild.
Okay. I'm gonna go like this.
Oh God.
You don't think it's that good?
No.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's pushing it to even put it above Peterskill.
You're right. You're right. Okay.
Junkie and Chauncey and Grunk.
I think
Though I've had fun days there, I feel like it might be my least favorite Gunks area.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I'm kind of the same way.
You also feel like it's your least favorite?
I wouldn't say it's my least favorite. I would say it's I don't know. I feel like maybe here.
Above Peterskill.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's small enough that who cares? Like whether it's above or below Peterskill, it is what it is. But
I mean, maybe it's not above Peterskill either. I'm like second guessing a little bit.
If you were to go to each of those places for 10 sessions in this 2 months,
Peterskill, you could just go and like find stuff to climb. Fucking Double Right, it's like I'm going to like project something hard or something specific. Right. Yeah, fuck. Maybe you're right. Fuck. Carriage Road.
We made it to the road, which is I think our last Gunk, right? Oh no, still one more.
Is the traps just Carriage Road? Are they synonymous with each other? But it's also like the thing right to the right before you, like in that picture, if you go to the right, that's not Carriage Road. That's
like if you go to the Traps cabin across the bridge.
Yeah, across the bridge.
I think that's all part of the west traps at least.
So are we
I think
counting
for the sake
just
of
all
simplicity,
of
we're
that
just gonna call
area?
it Carriage Road, because that's what people refer to it as.
Okay.
It includes everything from the Professional, which is like that boulder by the West Traps lot, that V7 that we haven't ever tried, all the way to Even Lovely,
and
the
stuff beyond
Squirters
it,
wall past it. And it includes the Traps Cabin, which is technically just across the road, but it's all there. So not the Nears, obviously, because that is down the hill altogether. But that whole area, Carriage Road.
I mean,
can't-
obviously it's
We have to
S,
give it S.
like it's S tier.
There's no option. It's the best. So Carriage Road, I mean, I don't know. Ooh! Snowy was there, yeah. Below 9. The green screen is falling down.
No! Bro, this is falling apart, bro.
Technical D's. Yo, don't forget to smash that like button and pay for our new green screen. Actually, the screen is fine. We need some tape.
Someone can donate tape. Okay, that tape over there is bad. I gotta fix that.
I'm not gonna move the camera, but after the video, I'm not touching it. But after the video, we'll probably show that. You think we get sponsored by tape? Ooh, anybody out there have a good connection to Scotch or Duct? All right.
No, fuck.
This is like a 1930s, like literally
Three Stooges, like.
Abbott and Costello. You put up one side and you say okay, and then the other side comes down instantly, and then your chair spins around under you.
All right, yo, wow, we didn't have any technical difficulties. Nothing happened.
The only things that might have been rearranged down here are where the actually no, this one was definitely not here. I don't know what.
Okay,
order these
okay,
three
just
were
be
in, but
careful. Whoa, be careful here. My mouse has two
Glitch.
buttons on the side,
glitch.
and when I pushed it, it
that's
fucking
what happened.
yeah,
I didn't
it
even
changed the page. It like refreshed
So
it.
the tier list, we're pretty sure is back where it was. The order of the last 6 might be different, but
It's
think
fine.
we're
It's
back.
fine.
It's fine.
East Marion was in front.
Oh yeah, good call, good call. All right, I think we're back. We're back to where we were. Carriage Road.
As we were
I
saying,
want to do the honors.
yeah, we got a little excited.
We're gonna crown our S.
The room got excited.
The
It
whole room
literally
got
shook.
excited. The cat was meowing. The
Tape was falling.
tape was falling.
We're already an hour and 24 minutes into this. We could talk about Carriage Road for another hour.
Yeah. Let us know if you want us to do this. We could do a full tier list just ranking boulders on Carriage Road, and we could do as many boulders as you want. You say a number, we'll get that many pictures, and we could do a tier list. We could do a tier list of moderates at Carriage Road. We might be able to do a tier list of like specifically V8s at Carriage Road and still have a full video out of it. Carriage Road.
And fun fact, the picture of Carriage Road was taken
Just yesterday.
not yesterday. It was like last week.
Last week.
Yeah.
Let me rattle it off. First of all, it's the main Gunks area, which you might think would make it overrated, but it's actually not.
That's why I feel like,
Oh, Carriage Road's S,
like
obviously, but it actually
though.
is. You can find good stuff of every grade, and especially once you start getting to like V4, I'd say is where it starts getting really good. From V4 all the way up to harder than we're climbing, like V4 to at least V12-ish, there's solid stuff at every grade. The super classics, new pair of glasses is a 7, Even Lovely is the new classic 9, Buddha is the obvious classic. Ooh. Buddha is the obvious classic 6. It's got like 8 extensions. There's Freak on it, which is a 10. Like all those are good. You find a decent 30-ish degree day with sun, and you're just like comfortable on Carriage Road. A lot of these other places right now you could not climb at if you wanted to. What are your favorite other lines there that we didn't name?
Jabu.
Jabu's a good 9.
I like spring training, even though it's like
I haven't done that one.
really hard. Not a 7.
I really love Jackson Pollock V8, Art of Nothing V8. Even the stuff that people meme on, like Collateral is a good line.
8-ball.
Yeah. Oh, 8-ball was great.
Oh
that
my
was
God,
our first video.
Chamber, bro. Like,
Chamber
Hope
looks super
Springs
sick when we get there.
is
Hope Springs.
cool. Like
Yeah.
it looks. I mean.
And then, dude, Venus. We are finally getting to the point where like we've done basically all the like classic stuff, and so like we're now going to more random things. So maybe right now we're not super psyched on it, but like that's not going to stop me from giving it an S tier anyway. You can and should travel to Carriage Road. Like if you're 2-3 hours away, it's still worth driving there, and that's not true of like necessarily all these places.
We do bump into people that like have fucking traveled
Yeah,
far.
all the time. If you're visiting New York City and you have a car and you've got like a day or two to spare, this is easily your best bet.
And rope stuff too.
So much
Not even
trad
just
climbing.
bouldering,
Yeah, the bouldering there isn't even the good part. Most people go there to trad climb. Boulders travel there from some distance. Trad climbers actually travel to the Gunks from, I'm not even kidding, like all over the place. Like I've met people from literally Europe and like the West Coast and the Southeast who like come up to the Gunks to trad climb there, which is crazy because I've followed there, I think, twice. And I don't think you've ever been on any rope at the Gunks. So someday I'm sure we'll have an even better opinion of it, but even still.
Ice Pond.
Ice Pond.
I mean, you know how I feel about Ice Pond.
I think I agree that, assuming you're going to say Ice Pond's A tier,
and I think I agree. Is that what you're thinking?
I was thinking S, dude.
Really?
I mean,
I can
is
see it.
S like the thing where it's like there can only be one?
No.
As much as I love Carriage Road, I'm not gonna put it above Carriage Road.
Yeah, we can't do that.
Right? Yeah, I've done so many climbs at Ice
Yeah.
Pond. No, but I've tried so many climbs at Ice Pond too.
Ice Pond is like, for me, it's Powerlinez. For you, it's Ice Pond. Like the place where you've like been there so many times. You've done so much of what's there, and like it is all pretty good.
It's all really good. There isn't a single climb that has pebbles on it.
That's true.
Like that is what I love, that I can actually climb. Guys, I have real sensitive tips and I can actually climb at Ice Pond for a long time, which is a huge thing for me. There's a lot of variety. When we first went there, I was like, oh, the official, like this is as far as it goes. And then it's like, oh, there's fucking evolution down here. And then it's like, oh, there's fucking the whale and all this other shit down here. And then, oh, there's the live and die, whatever it's called.
Whale. Moby?
Moby, yeah, whatever. Moby's a whale. And now there's even more stuff. The parasitic arachnid area, Bernie's Wall, Ernie's Wall, fucking
There's so much there.
Wayward Wind. I mean, that area sucked balls, but...
I mean, here's the thing. Ice Pond is objectively way better than the Powerlines, and it's like the same drive if you're coming from downstate, which I'd say most New York boulders are coming from like this greater New York City area. Ice Pond and Powerlines is probably the same for most people. So like, if you can choose between the two, you're going to choose the Powerlines almost always, unless you're just a beginner, in which case then the Powerlines is way better.
I have bumped into people, like you were saying, like, oh, I've met some Europeans at the Gunks. Yeah, I've met some weird travelers.
You wouldn't book a flight and schedule a trip to go to Ice Pond. You might do that for Carriage Road. Approach is chill, a lot of good boulders.
Canada Lake! I mean...
It's definitely the worst. Actually, Canada Lake coming up is part of why I think I wanted to put Misc in B, because
Canada Lake's pretty bad.
yeah,
There was one climb that we tried. I think it was an 8 or a 7 or something.
And you couldn't even get
And
off the
if
ground.
we were able to do that, it would have felt so sick.
That
It
boulder
would have
is
changed our
pretty.
perception.
The boulder in this picture is super pretty.
The traverse was a little goofy too.
We lost one tape. It used to be called Pinnacle Pull-Off, and then it got renamed Canada Lake at some point along the way. Actually, I think that's how it happened. I don't even know. I'm sure someone in the comments could give better context than I just did. To my understanding, Nine Corner and McKenzie have been being climbed at for a while, and Canada Lake is like that age of stuff, whereas a lot of the other stuff, maybe Snowy too, but a lot of the other ones are like pretty new or pretty one-off, whereas Canada Lake's been around for a while. The parking is easy and free. The approach is very, very easy, even though it's like a bushwhack, but it's like 1 minute. The one thing though is like I can't name any classic lines there. I can hardly even name them.
Yeah, I don't even know.
You did Ass Dragger.
I'm so scared of pushing the fucking button on my mouse. Like maybe it's here.
That's exactly where I would put it.
Okay.
I like it fine. I think it's on average definitely better than Central Park.
This next one, I don't know what that is. So that's
This
all
one
you.
this one's called Witch's Circle. So this one's in Oneonta, New York. I went here 2 days. It was both times it was after I got my 2 doses of the original COVID vaccine. And so the first time my arm was hurting, and the second time I was like in the process of starting to die while I was climbing there. But I don't think that affected it. When I say Split Rock is Chaucy because it's like covered in glass and human remains, Witch's Circle is Chaucy because as you are climbing it, the rock is actively breaking away everywhere, and it's not because it hasn't been climbed long enough. It's because the rock itself is like this weird shale that just breaks and breaks and breaks as you go. Nothing is established there harder than about V4 maybe as of the last time I was there. Wait, here's why it's on the list. All the boulders we're describing, all the areas, if you draw a line from McKenzie through the Adirondacks to the Gunks and down to New York City, with the exception of Long Island obviously, which goes to the east, they're all within, let's say 20 or 30 horizontal miles of the Hudson River. This is not. Once you start going west in New York, it's like barren. Like if you're based in the Hudson Valley, you've got boulders for your whole life. If you're based in Buffalo or Rochester, there are no rocks around. So like this is what you get if you're on the wrong side of the Catskills. That's why it's here. It's because it's super the only thing in the area, and it is bad.
Sounds like it's right in front of Split.
That's correct. Yeah. Even though I would never deign to put something below Split Rock, but if you were to teleport me to one of these two places and tell me I have to go climb, I would actually say teleport me to Split Rock.
Waterworks. It's cool. This picture, these two together, it looks like this tree is from the Waterworks picture, and it's like coming out to the other one.
Whoa.
I don't know. I mean, last time we were at Waterworks, a lot of success. If we didn't have that session at Waterworks, I think my opinion would be very different.
Yep.
I think it is above Snowy. I think it's A. I think it's above Snowy.
So hot take, I think Waterworks is the best Gunks area with the exception of Carriage Road.
The best satellite Gunks area for sure.
I think I agree with that. Again, different parking altogether. Waterworks has 3 big areas to it. There's the Thrash Wall, which has Sharma's Stand V7 plus, and like Sharma's Sit or Sharma's Problem, which is like a 12, I want to say.
Why do you say plus?
You don't remember trying that 7? We weren't even close to doing either of the moves in ISO. Then there's the main area, which is what this picture is. Spike V8, which, I mean, does it really get better than that in New York? And then right next to it is Sharma's Roof V8, which, like, if Spike wasn't there, I would be like, wow, that's incredible. I mean, I still am like that. And then Spike is right there, and you're like, holy crap. There's Fat Bastard, excellent V7, like one of the Gunks' best 7s. And then there's a whole new area that we didn't even know about. It's not new, but it's new to us. Ring of Fire V10 or Fireface Sit V10 or 8 or something. There's a bunch more. Downside to the Waterworks, no guidebook. Again, like everything else at the Gunks besides Carriage Road and the Nears. You got to know people. If you do know people, it is great. Big fan.
Skidmore. You got something to say?
Wow.
All right. Skidmore's interesting. Skidmore's interesting. I feel like there's obviously a bit of a story, a bit of a background for it for us. Just looking at that picture, it's like objectively gross, kind of chaucy, which
it's just this
is
one
unfortunate.
standalone cliff. It's like, how tall do you think the cliff is? Like 15 feet or so? 18 feet? It runs for a few hundred feet left to right, and there's like, I don't know, I'm going to say a dozen lines on it. It might not even really be that many. There's a few actually pretty good like 3s, and then there's the classic 9, and there's like pretty much nothing else there, and there's no other boulders super near it. Pretty much you go there if you're working the 9, or if you live in Saratoga Springs, New York, and like you want to climb super close to home, then you can do a little easy circuit there.
I'm gonna go, I don't really know exactly where, but I'm saying B.
Really?
I know it's like kind of a trash rock. Okay, fine. Realistically, if we were just like normal dudes who didn't spend 9 sessions trying to get
didn't spend 9 sessions, and also we don't live particularly close to it. Like, it's an hour and a half, just like everything here is an hour and a half away.
Yeah, okay.
It's C tier, I think.
Yeah, it's bottom of C tier. Or maybe it's in front of
Canada.
No, I feel like Canada Lake
we're biased both ways.
Has more stuff.
Does.
We didn't experience Canada Lake as much as we experienced Skidmore.
Right. Skidmore, I mean, the 9, Zero Friction is genuinely a really, 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 really cool line. And it's worth, like, even if it were further, we still would have projected it. If it was 2 hours away, we still would have driven to it a handful of times and projected it. If Zero Friction wasn't there, we would have gone here once, and then I would have D-tier Dorson rocked it.
There was also the backside of that Canada Lake boulder that had some stuff that we didn't really try.
Yeah, well, there's a lot more. The guidebook has a bunch of stuff.
All right, so I guess the question is, does it go in front or behind Canada Lake? As like an overall experience, I enjoy it more than Wildwood, but like it has one fucking line.
It's one line. And like also, we'll never go back.
Yeah, we're not going back.
Whereas like we'll go back to Wildwood. We'll definitely go back to Canada Lake sooner or later. I guess I have to kind of say it's probably bottom of C. It's not D, right?
Nah, I don't think it's D. D is reserved for like
Chauce
you're
plus
never
all of New York City.
You can't put it in D. Just because like there is a line that is actually good.
Right. But there's only one line that's good. The 5 is kind of cool, I guess.
The traverse, whatever.
I think bottom of D makes sense. I mean, bottom of C makes sense.
Wow.
Tier list. It's honestly pretty well distributed. There's a chance that New York City should be bottom of C. Now that I'm looking at the other things in the D tier, which are like, you can't pay me to go to them. Like, I do kind of want to go climb in Central Park.
New York could be one under Wildwood.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Oh, okay. Here's something that I forgot to mention. Lost City also has a swimming hole, which is pretty sick. When you're done climbing at Lost City in the summer, you just dunk in that nice hole.
Top of B makes sense still.
Yeah. It's just
Right.
a note that it's cool. There is more bouldering in New York. There are other Gunks areas. Most of it's like worse than anything here though, so like no reason to go there. Didn't want to put it in the list.
I think for the most part, people will understand. If they climb outside a lot, they'll understand that there's so many areas that like, how could you actually make a list that makes sense? And I feel like this is like the best we could have divvied it up, to be honest.
I think so too. There are other places in New York State that you and I have never been to. And I'm just going to name a couple because I'm curious. If anybody's been to any of these places, let us know how they are. There's a place called Clark Reservation out near Syracuse. The one thing it might have going for it again is like it's the only bouldering out near Syracuse. Grand Lake. If you go way northwest, it's probably more than 3 hours from the capital region. Apparently it's cool. There's a lot of boulders in Mountain Project. There's also a place that I want to go to at some point called Blue Mountain Park, halfway between the lines and Ice Pond. There's other stuff in Harriman, which is where Powerlinez is, but it's close to climbing. There's other stuff all throughout downstate New York. I feel like there was one more thing that I was thinking about.
There's nothing. This is the list, guys. This is the list. This is the only list.
Trip around it, but you can have a really fun weekend or long week.
Yo. Oh, wow. Here, move over a little bit because it's falling. Nah, this is perfect timing. Green screen's falling. Don't forget to like
And subscribe and share this with everybody.
And let us know if you like the freaking.
Let us know if you like the tier list format and if you want to see another one. And if you do, what you think is good. We could easily do Gunks boulders, but like, there's probably more stuff we haven't talked about. What if we do a tier list of like climbing weather? And Mike will be like 80 and raining. Wow. Yeah, you got to pay the tax.
That's the end of the video.
That's the end of the video. Wow.
Thanks for watching.